11, people are betting money on what Trump will say this week. So we have all sorts of things like that he'll say Barack Hussein Obama, then he'll talk about IQs or Sleepy Joe, call people thugs, talk about the Insurrection Act, talk about Trump derangement syndrome. You see that's about 48%. And way down at the bottom, there's only a 13% chance that he will talk about the Epstein files this week. If you go over to Polymarket, they talk about other things that he might say this week. So he might say his own name 6 times at 79%. Buy a Dell computer for some reason at 18%. No idea what that's about. Talk about Greenland. Seems to be off the map there at 18%. 10. You can bet money on what the US or other countries might do. So here's an example on Polymarket of the odds of the US striking Iran by different dates. So you can see I'm recording this on January 28th. See, there's only a 1% chance of them doing it today. And right now, as of this recording, there is a 68% chance on Polymarket that people think that the US will strike Iran by June 30th. Interestingly, Kalshi doesn't have this market on their platform. Number 9, betting on Elon Musk. So one of the most active Elon Musk platforms is how many tweets he'll do in a given month or a week. So here's an example of people predicting how many tweets he has. Polymarket shows that the tweet count at the time of recording was 233. You can see people here are predicting how many he's going to do by the 30th of January, so just 2 days time from now. And people are coming in here at all sorts of different levels here, so you can bet money on that. And Kalshi has its own things you can do. You have Elon Musk making a Blue Sky account before 2027. You can see the odds of that have slowly declined over time, although if you look down here, the volume is really small. So number 7, we have, again, things about Greenland. So here we have the odds that Trump will acquire Greenland before 2027, although I assume that actually means that the United States will get it rather than Trump himself personally, but these days, who knows? And you can see the odds here are just a 12% chance but that the US or Trump will acquire it before the 31st of December 2027, or of 2026 of this year. And if we go over to Kalshi, similar odds. So this is a slightly different take on it. So this is, will the US take control of any part of Greenland, not the entire country, but just any part. And they're giving it a 43% chance of the US taking control at some point before January 21st, 2029, the end of Trump's second term in office. And they have an important kind of disclaimer here stating that it has to come in as a state or territory and not just being used as a military base. So it's really important to look at these things before making any bets to understand how the bet will resolve. So number 6, we have bets around GTA 6's release date. So here on Kalshi, you can see here that almost no one thinks it's going to happen before June 2026. Very few people even before August. But 67% of people think it will happen before 2027. Pretty optimistic, I think, given the history here. And you can see a slightly funnier market on Polymarket here. So what will happen before the GTA release? And here we have a Russian-Ukraine ceasefire is more likely to happen before then. We have ChatGPT 6 being released. Trump out as president at 53%. And my favorite one is down here. Jesus Christ will return, 49%. That's more likely to happen before GTA 6 gets released than that happening. I'm not sure what you think, but there you are. Number 5, you can bet on the number of passengers that the TSA will handle on a given date. So here we have predictions here. How many people come on the 29th, which is a day from is tomorrow. People are predicting that there'll be well over 2 million people. So the majority of the bets here are between 2.3 and 2.4 million. So here you do have to be exactly right within a range rather than predicting a thing. Whereas Kalshi, the way they structure their market for this is just you have to predict like an over-under sort of situation here. So 80% of people there's an 80% chance that there'll be above 2 million passengers. The forecast is 2.05 million. Half of people think that's going to go above that. So obviously slightly fewer think it's going to go below. And you can obviously go up from here and betting on the different markets. All right, number 4, you can predict on things like earthquakes. I'm not really sure what people think that they have an edge on this one here, but you can see there's about $160,000 worth of volume here. And people are saying that they're predicting an 89% chance of a 7.0 earthquake or above anywhere on Earth before that date. I have no idea how common these types of earthquakes are, but I imagine if people are betting money on that, they must occur pretty regularly. And you can also bet on more specific earthquake-related things here. So here's a market from Kalshi showing, will there be an 8 magnitude earthquake in California before 2027? And they're only giving that about a 9% chance. Obviously, this would have to happen within the state of California, and we're not 100% sure how that would be resolved, if something just off the coast of California counts, or if it actually has to be on the plate in California. Number 3, we have how many views on Mr. Beast's next video within the first week here. So you can see here that there are different things. Mr. Beast, for those who don't know, is the most popular YouTube creator right now. At one stage, people thought there was a good chance that his next video would get between 80 and 90 million views, but now that seems to have dropped down to most people think he'll get between 70 and 80 million views, with a lot of money being bet on that. And if you don't want to predict on how many views he's going to have, Kalshi's got you covered here with a thing on what he might say next. So we've got things here like time or challenge or win, promoting his festivals brand, which obviously really likely. Less likely seems to be Saudi Arabia. I have no idea why that's even a thing there, but there you go. So number 2 is how many inches of snow in New York City. So these are, you can make all sorts of kind of weather predictions here. So obviously there's been a lot of snow in New York. Same thing in Canada, where I'm originally from. There's been loads and loads of snow there. It's one of the reasons I moved away. So you can see here that the consensus view seems to be that there'll be between 12 and 14 inches of snow in January this month. And again, Kalshi lets you, instead of picking a range, just lets you pick an above range here. So 99% chances above 10 inches. I assume that's already happened, that there's been more than that. And the consensus being that there's going to be 12.7 inches of snow there. And you can see $1.7 million worth of bets have been placed on this. Okay. Then we have Logan Paul's Pikachu Illustrator sale price. So Logan Paul has, I think, the highest rated version PSA 10 Pikachu card. So this is currently at auction here. So at the time of recording, the price was at 5.1 million with 18 days to go. So obviously the odds of that happening here have gone up. Most people think it's going to go higher than that. So we have on Polymarket, we have over half of people think it'll go for over $10 million. But if we compare that to Kalshi, the odds of it going for over 10 million are only 38%. So if you know what you're doing there, that may be an arbitrage opportunity, although I'd be really careful to read the terms. This is obviously not financial advice, so you could look into that there. But obviously going to be a huge amount of money for a trading card, which just seems nuts to me. And then finally, we have, will the US confirm that aliens will exist before 2027? Here we can see here that there's only a 9% chance of that happening here on Polymarket. And the rules are that if the president or any member of cabinet confirm that they have evidence of extraterrestrial life or technology before the end of the year, then this market will resolve to yes. So obviously people giving that a pretty small chance of happening. But over on Kalshi, we have they're a bit more optimistic about this happening. So they give it about a 12.9% chance of happening. And it looks like the rules are pretty similar, but again, you'd want to look into that. And finally, as a bonus, you can even bet on, will Jesus return before 2027? Now, currently, Polymarket's only giving that a 3% chance, but if you remember, if we jump back to our thing on GTA 6, people were divided on which will happen first, if Jesus will come back or GTA 6 will get released, which one will happen next. So let me know which of these was your favorite, and I look forward to reading your comments.